I guess that's all I can do with it. Oh, mine has clackety keys. So I get extra percussion out of it. Whatever that is. Oh, so hi. Hi, everyone. Good evening. I know I sound a little funny. I'll explain that in a minute. I may cough. I may have to blow my nose because, I'm not feeling quite right. But I'm getting over whatever it is. So who knows? Who knows indeed? But hello to everyone out there. Hello, Daniel, Fega, Greg. Oh, nice to see you here, Greg. I just noticed. Claudio, Mai, Sean, JPK Knights, CD Stardust, Emilio. Nice. Thank you. Thank you for all of you for being here tonight. Well, I'm going to, first of all, as you can see, I took my ESQ out, my real one, clackety keys and all. But I had some problems today. It wouldn't load up my sounds, and every time I tried to load something in, it would crash and destroy everything. So I got lucky in making a sequence. Just one, but it's one of those things. But that's why I love having the plug-in version and why I love having two plug-in versions of it, because my sounds are in there, and I'm going to prove it tonight by playing some stuff where the ESQ one is very prominent. I guess I'll start with this thing, but it's an instrumental sort of. But so this, I don't know if you can hear it, but I think you might be able to. I think it might just be a little low in volume. That is also my ESQ, but that's my software version. And that is a sound which appears and kind of drives this remix that you're about to hear of Life is Fun. So I'm going to play that and then be with you guys on the chat. You can ask me questions and stuff, and I'll see you on the chat. But anyway, overhead on, and let's play the song that has that sound in it. Pay attention. So, yeah, life is fun. The RNJ 22 mix, which, yeah, has a lot of weird sounds in it that I still have. I was trying to find one of them that I kind of found in there, and I thought, man, I know I have that still. Nope, that ain't it. Trying though. Nope. Uh, I don't know. It's one of those sounds. But but yeah, as soon as I got back from Jersey, I found out that I found out several things, but we'll get into all of it soon enough. No, but when I got back from Jersey, I realized that that Arturia had just released the SQ80V, which is basically this instrument in software. Now, I've already been using it as software for a couple of years now. There was this developer guy that had made it, and I had gotten the chance to actually email him a couple of times and send him sounds and things. And I was like, you got to keep developing this. And I lost touch with him. And from what I've found, it seems that the guy passed away about a couple years ago. And that's probably why this plugin never got off the ground. But I really dig this one, and I really, really love the way he put it together. I actually like the interface more than the Arturia version, but it is buggy. Like right now, the GUI is sitting on my desktop, and if I close it, it'll crash, which is something that happens sometimes with this plugin. But what it did do amazingly well is it loaded up all of my sounds from forever. So anyway, so I was going to play just like random sounds that I find on the ESQ and then basically tell you where they're found in other places. But that's what I feel like doing because singing's out of the question tonight because my throat hurts and I've been quite under the weather. It could be it. Or it could be just a regular old cold. One will never know, at least not for the moment. But it's whatever it is. I seem to be getting over it quite quick. But I actually think I know what it was because I went camping and I was on this cot, and I kept breathing in this dust, and I had just. It's not worth relating, but the point I'm trying to make is I think I know where I caught the cold. So it wasn't the vid, but who knows? But I'm getting over it, whatever it is. And yeah, yesterday I had a bit of bad news, so that's kind of added to my stress a little bit. My uncle died, passed away from the vid, as it were. So that was yesterday. So despite the fact that I went camping and I had a pretty good time just being out in the wild, I was I believe it's called Two Shores in Catalina. So it's the very farthest part of the non-touristy side of the island, and I stayed there. But yeah, so it was supposed to be a way of recharging my batteries, but I seem to have come back with my batteries all rusted out. So, so anyway, no, it hasn't been the best. But yeah, so I've had a bit of a, like I said, a cold of some sort. I mean, again, it could have, yeah, there are buffaloes on that side of the island. But anyway, but I was dying to play the ESQ, and when I got back, the only thing I did was play the ESQ, the software, and I just went back and forth. Thank you, you guys. Thank you. I don't know that I should talk about it because if I talk about it, it's going to mess me up and I don't want to be messed up on camera. So let's not talk about it. It happened. It's messed up. I am grieving in my own way. I have these moments where like certain memories will come back and I'll just process them, you know? But it's rough. It's not an easy thing, obviously. I mean, it reiterates the obvious, which is one must enjoy life because the minute you were born, there was a countdown and it's marked for all of us at one point or another. So enjoy your family and your friends and everybody that you know while you can. I guess that's the lesson there. But yeah, so I got that instrument and the first 2 days that I was back, I just spent a lot of time on it. And so anyway, so here's a sound that, oh, and by the way, I'm playing the ESQ software without any effects. So whatever things you hear, it's strictly the sound by itself before I added any other processing. So it'll sound a little different than what you hear in some of the songs. But so I think it was, let's see if I can find this sound quick now. Think I remember. Crap. I knew I was going to forget. It's because there's so many sounds on here. Great. I think it's this one. Yeah, it's this one. So this sound. So as you can hear, it stops short, but if I let go, it goes on forever. So what I found interesting about sounds like this when I was making them was that I would play certain parts a certain way so that they would stop, and then there would be parts that would stretch out. So for example, responding to Daniel, this is not the Arturia version. I have it loaded up as well, but it's already past a different point for me on that one. So I'll get into that one too, because there's something I'll explain about that one that I really like. But they're both the same. They would literally sound exactly the same. I found only a few sounds that were a little off between the two of them, but it was very minor. For some reason, here, I'll actually pull up the sound in question. Do I still have it on this bank? Never when I need it, right? Why can I not find this sound now? Anyway, but this sound, oops. Yeah, of course, because I've messed up. This one. Is a big part of the next song that I'm going to play. So I'm going to play the title track from the Hope album, and you'll hear that sound in there. But just pay attention to how it moves, because it's very interesting how that particular sound moves. And the bass is also the ESQ, and there's a bunch of other things that are the ESQ, but I'll just play it. So there was I lost the chat, so I think it's back. Um, so yeah, so that song, uh, there's a funny reference to a night that I had with my uncle in that song, in that it talks about in the factory, no one here but me. You know that line. It was because we used to go. He used to work when we were living in Jersey at the time. He used to work at this factory, and he asked if I would go help him. So I would go help him, but in reality, I would just take my guitar and my recorder and just play in there because it was really empty. So you would get this amazing reverb. And I really liked it. So that was years ago. So we're talking, gosh, I want to say 1982 or something like that. So anyway, I was remembering that particular time period when I wrote this song. And so that particular little phrase, you know, in this factory was literally in a relation to that memory. So it's interesting that would, you know, come up. But anyway, yeah, a lot of ESQ in there. Besides the little, you know, doopity-doo parts, there's almost everything except the strings and the drums, obviously. So I used to use it quite a lot. I still do. It shows up in the oddest places because there's always a sound that I need that I have to make on the spot. And every time I have to make a sound on the spot, it's the fastest instrument that I can make a sound on. So that's why I use it a lot. I got used to programming it. And to be honest, I believe that the digital version is not only a true version of it. I like it better because I can store a lot more sounds and I can load them quick, you know, so in that vein, it's awesome. When I bring it up, you can't see it, but when I bring it up, I literally have 200 of my patches loaded up, which even this guy can't do when even if I've got cartridges in there, I'm not going to have that many. So it's kind of nice that I have multiple, you know, so yeah, so a lot of ESQ on that, and then that's the Arturia, which sounds exactly the same. The only difference is that on the Arturia, I can get away with a couple of extra things that I couldn't do on the original ESQ, which I'll demonstrate that a little bit later. But for now, let me switch back because I've got these sounds all loaded up on this other one, so I might as well bring it up. So this is funny. So this patch is called a lifelong part, meaning it's one of those parts that I'll occasionally find and I'll have a use for it, and it'll be hidden somewhere, but it'll show up in a lot of different places. So it's not really much, except that what it is, it's a sound where there's modulation happening to bring in the third oscillator. Volume-wise, it brings it in, and it also detunes it. So you get a really strange, sort of sad effect. Here, I'll play a note. So you can hear that one sound comes in and then goes out. So of course, if you play chords, it's odd, sort of sad sound. But I wound up using it to basically open up distances with it. So see if you can spot it, that sound. And so a couple of others. So this is like probably the most recent that I've used it, but it's an interesting use of the thing. Oh, and I think it just crashed. It's funny. I think it just totally trashed. No, maybe not. But anyway, let's see if you recognize it. I'm going to play a song.
There you are, standing near the buildings with a photograph burning in your hand. The ashes fell towards the pavement. It reminded me of snow. I thought, hello. For a time, all I felt was indecision. Then the flash of your eyes, they synchronized with mine. Only for a second said hello. You might see everything. You might get a bit of nothing. How will you ever know unless you learn to live and say hello?
I was trying to find the darn note. Because in the end, I think it doubles up and there's an odd harmony in there too. But that's the sound. So the Arturia, here comes the Arturia. Hold on, I'm going to bring that one up. So that's the Arturia you're hearing, which again, if I go just by the sounds, it's almost as if, I think it's, crap. It's harder to find patches on the Arturia, which is really funny. So I haven't put all my sounds into the Arturia on this computer. I've been using it on the laptop a lot, so I have a lot more sounds there. But you can get like some really weird stuff happening. See, it sounds like a completely different instrument though. It's a way different instrument. You can get weirder sounds out of it than you could on the old one, but that's because there's certain things that you can map. So I made this. As you can see, that's my MS-20. And so I've got it mapped to several things. One of the things that I could map that I could never map on the old ESQ was the actual switching of the waveform. So for example, here, let me try it on this one. That's a good sound to try it on. So for example, you can hear that it's switching, but it's only doing it while my hand holds the key, and then it doesn't happen if I hold the note down. But here, it does. So I can make sounds on it that I was previously not able to make on the ESQ because of certain, just, that kind of thing, right? But on the other hand, it got some sounds completely wrong, and I couldn't get it to play some of the old sounds. I think it was this one. Oh no, this one wound up being pretty good actually. But yeah, so there's a couple of sounds where I tried my best. Let's see if it's this one. So these type of sounds, it got completely correct. But this sound right here, ugh. It got it wrong. It didn't quite sound the way that I remembered. So the other plugin seems to work on some of the sounds a little bit better. But one thing I did notice is that if I made something on the Arturia and I tried to send it back to the keyboard, it doesn't work because there's other parameters here, so they won't get interpreted correctly. On the other hand, on the free one, when I make a sound on it and I send it back to the keyboard, it loads it just as if it was its own. So 1-to-1 with the hardware, I think the freeware actually works better. So that's just my opinion. But if I look at it as a completely new instrument, it is by and far a really cool thing. So I've been working on sounds for like the last couple of days. I made a whole bunch of new ones. So it'll probably lead me to other avenues, other avenues of existence. But let's see if I can find that, because I was looking for that sound here and I couldn't find it. I can't find it. Not that this one can't make weird sounds, by the way. Because it can. Oh, it's so funny. So I'm gonna play play a song before I get really boring. But oh, Claudio has a good question. He says the freeware takes a little work to use on a Mac, though, right? I know it works. Yeah, that's the other thing. So the Arturia obviously works perfect on Mac and PC. It's it's made by a professional company, so it works on both, no problem. The freeware does not really work on a Mac. I think you would have to do some crazy stuff to get it to work. But since my main studio is on a PC, obviously it works there, and it works on my laptop as well. It does not work on my little Mac. So obviously, if I need a sound, I have to sample it or do something. So that's kind of a drag. But again, it was free. So I would definitely recommend keeping the free one around if you have a PC, because it's really, really cool. Because you can get some really crazy sounds out of either or. So, but let's see. I was going to look for. Gosh, where is that sound? That funny moment where I thought I had it, but I don't. Oh. Oh, there it is. This is the one that the Arturia gets this wrong. But if you listen to it, sounds like an old record. Anyway, on the freeware, that sound sounds so much better. So it's worth having both. So I look at it like it's almost like having two different editions of the hardware. They both have their strengths. So I'm going to keep both. Also, I don't have it loaded up, but I have a version where I made a reactor, for lack of a better word, add-on to the freeware that has an extra filter and a bunch of different effects, so that it was designed specifically for the ESQ plugin to use as the main interface, and then it goes into my reactor interface. So I get even weirder sounds out of that. So I have a lot of ESQ, basically. But anyway, so I'm going to play one more song here where there's a lot of ESQ. This is from 2014. This is a demo version of Nostalgia. The little snappy sounds and a lot of the bells and the strings. You might recognize that lifelong part again coming in. I think I used it again. Anyway, I'm going to play that. And then feel free to ask me questions, though. Back to the overhead.
Looking at the page.
So yeah, that one used a lot of interesting aspects of the ESQ, and I think by then I was already yeah. That's the software too. Um, yeah, feel better, Mike. So the tale to be told is that I guess uh, some people came down with the you know what um, in Jersey, but uh, I don't think that that's what I have. I mean, it could be, but I don't think it is. I think it's because when I went camping, like I said, I was on an old cot and it was dusty and I could feel it going in my throat. And then in the morning, I had a sore throat. So I think it's very related to more of a, my thing is more of a organism type thing, bacterial. It feels like it, but who knows? You know, but I'm all right. I feel like it's almost done. It's almost over. Like I'm starting to feel like it's almost over, which is good. Um, it that shall not be named, correct? Although again, I kind of I take risks, right? Because obviously I had shows but what am I gonna do? But yeah, I don't think so either. But it was pretty lousy yesterday, but I'm much better today. So let's see. ESQ. ESQ. What sound can I pull up from the ESQ? Um, so this is one of my favorite sounds ever that I made on the ESQ. It's so simple too, but it's one of those like very expressive sounds. Like I can play it with my hand and basically use the wheel to enact little movements. Anyway, weird sound, I know, but I used it on Universe. I used it on Electrodelica. I wound up using it a couple of times because I liked it a lot, but which is what happens, right? You use a sound and you kind of get into it, but anyway. Oh, what a week. I guess I'm hiding it all really well, aren't I? But um yeah, I've been playing a lot of music, cold or no cold. So some of the things I was doing when I was out on the road and I was in my hotel room was taking notes on certain recordings that I wanted to go back and revisit. Some songs that were obviously unreleased that I wish I could have done. So I think I'm going to work on some stuff. I'm not going to say what they are yet because if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But I've been revisiting a few of them and I've been having fun with them. So we'll see where that goes. And I haven't stopped working on the EP I was working on. And yes, I have to promote the heck out of this. Otherwise, poor Mikey's going to go broke. So yes. The 12 inches out and the CD is out, So obviously, I do want to promote that too. So there's a lot of work ahead. So it's going to be a lot of work in the next couple weeks. But I've got shows coming up in November. But anyway, so I was in my room while I was in Jersey and I was making notes on old material that should be recorded. With the ESQ coming out, that was kind of interesting because I could go back to some of those songs and explore the same sounds almost as a trip back. So I thought that was an interesting move. So I thought that would be fun. So I've been doing that all week. So I've got whole new banks of sounds now that are completely different and new. But like I said, these old ones, I still like them. But anyway, this shows up on this song that I'm going to play. I'm going to play a song, and then hopefully when I come back, I'm not like an idiot. See if you can spot the sound in there.
Everyone is fine. Everything is great.
So there it is. Um, yeah, the song was kind of buried in there, but it's in there. It goes through the whole song, but it takes on different characteristics. But I realized as I was hearing it back, like how many sounds of the ESQ are in that song. There's actually a lot, quite a bit. So yeah, so you could. It's an instrument that yeah, it's a big part of my life, obviously. So so it is something. There's something to be said about making a certain instrument your main one, like the one that you know the best, rather than collecting a million different instruments. So it's one of those things where, you know, Gonzalo, Farmacia and anything box in Buenos Aires, I'd love it. I can't wait. But then again, we'd have to see how the laws change and all that stuff. So it's a different world we're in. So I don't know. So, but so yeah, uh, there's a lot of ESQ all throughout ABOX history, including more recent history, because I still use it. It's something I use all the time. Although, you know, like I've said, I have moved on to other things which are now part of my arsenal. But if I had to like, I don't know, if someone had to like put me on a desert island and says, you can only have these two things to make music with, I think I would choose the ESQ and reactor and I would be fine. I would be fine with just those two things. And I think I could get away with murder. But, you know, that's how it is. But, so I don't know why I wanted to play this particular one, but so Wendy, you're asking me why the Houston show isn't on the website. You know, there's a couple that for some reason, if they didn't put them up if they didn't put the tickets up in certain places, the site doesn't grab it. So I have to go add them manually. I'm going to do that this weekend because now I have a final thing, but I'm going to play a song, grab my notebook, and then I'll be able to tell you guys exactly where I'm going to be. You know, I know I just went to a desert island and I didn't have my laptop. Oh my God. So funny. That's true though. That is very true. But see if you can spot the ESQ in this particular mix of this particular song. And I'll be right back.
Carmen, las voces lloran. Carmen, mi alma se va. Con sus caricias
So yeah, the ending bits. The ending bits. So this is the schedule I've got so far. So on the 19th, I'm in Dallas. On the 20th, I'm in Houston. No, I have that wrong already. No, sorry. The 19th is Grand Rapids. The 20th is Dallas. There's no Houston in there. On the 24th, I'm in Chicago. The 26th, I'm in El Paso. On the 4th of December, I'm in Brownsville, Texas. On the 3rd, I may be in El Centro. That might happen. I'm not sure yet. I'll verify that one tomorrow. But in February, I'm in Florida, Tampa, and then West Palm Beach. So far, that's the schedule. So November is looking to be busy. So yeah. So yeah, a Houston show is planned somewhere, but I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen in December or January. So stay tuned. I'm not sure. I thought I had that in there, but it's not in there. And this is a more definitive list. But this weekend, I'm supposed to go over all those things, and I will let you know. So let me go back up here because so Mai wrote that she stepped on a yellow jacket and 2 hours later you have to give yourself an epinephrine shot and spend a few hours in the ER. Ouch. Wow. So are you allergic then? Is that what you're saying? I'm going to take that as a yes, because otherwise I don't think you would have to give yourself an epi shot. But, well, I used to have a really funny trick with yellow jackets that I used to perform when I was a kid. I found out that I had been stung by so many bees in my lifetime that I was not afraid of them anymore. So in this park where everybody would throw their soda cans, it would become filled with yellow jackets, and they would just be flying around this particular set of garbage cans. So one of the things I would do, and I mean, do not try this at home, is I would bet the older kids that I could reach in, grab a can, let all the bees get all over my hand, and then take it out of the garbage. So obviously the bigger kids thought they were really badasses. So they were like, yeah, go ahead, kid, do it. So then I would reach into the garbage can, wait until all the bees were all over my hand, and there would be a lot of them. So I would basically come out with a can, and my entire hand would be covered in bees, right? And they wouldn't sting me because I knew how to get in there and not, I guess, make them mad. So anyway, I would bring out the can and say, okay, so now you owe me $5. And these kids would be like, nah, we're not going to give you anything. And I was like, well, if you don't, I'm going to smack the can onto the ground and they're going to come after you. So they would have to pay up. And sometimes I'd charge them a surcharge as a little kid just for being rude. It was great. I remember doing that for an entire summer and made myself a bunch of extra money. But anyway, never got stung once doing that. Oh man, the stupid things you do when you're a kid. But yeah, I had been stung by bees so many times that by then I wasn't scared of them anymore, which is really funny. I'm still not really scared of them, but you kind of got to watch out for some of those bees. But anyway, it was funny to me. Like I would pull the wool over their eyes every single time, no matter who it was. I would bat them. They would almost invariably want to renege on the bat, and then I'd have to threaten them. They couldn't do anything about it. I had the best protection in the world. A whole bunch of bees in my hands. I was like, I'll throw them at you, so it was funny. But yeah, I would make a profit every time. So that's my bee story. One of them. Anyway. But I have some bad ones too, but that's the good one. Uh, but okay. So let's see. I'm going to play two that are old, really old, and these are coming off cassettes. But one of the reasons that I wanted to play these two particular songs is because they're almost exclusively ESQ1. So what you're going to hear is a song where the only other instrument other than the ESQ is my Juno 6 playing one sound, which is like a string, and of course a drum machine. But everything else is the ESQ. So all the percussion, all the weirdness is all coming off this one keyboard. Kind of funny how we used to be able to, like, I don't know, man. I used to be able to get a lot of mileage out of certain sounds that would change over time. So I got lucky, like that I got into that kind of programming early because that became a staple for me. But anyway, I digress. I'm going to play that song now so you can hear what it sounds like. And for this, I need the moon. Yes, the moon.
caught me unawares, I had nothing to say, so I told her a lie. I said sometimes war's a force to protect your basic rights, or to regain your land. She said, I don't believe you. She said, I don't believe you. Remember, into your world, don't let it fall apart. 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 Into your world, don't let it fall apart.
So it's your world. Yeah, so that one was mostly ESQ, like 90% of it. Um, the other thing that's interesting about that track, and I think I've said this before, but I guess it's worth noting, is that the sequence basically played all the instruments at the same time. So the only way that I could actually arrange the song was to mute and unmute or raise the volume or lower the volume of each instrument live. And so that was recorded that way, with me just basically doing what I was doing when we first started. So that's kind of interesting to me. But I'm like, how did I get so fast at it? I don't know, because I was trying it today and I was not as fast as I was then. But anyway, so the other B story. All right. I was about 11, and we went to this place in New Jersey called Seven Lakes. And we used to go there all the time, do picnics, like do our barbecue and all that in the summer. That's what we would do. But I would go wandering in the woods. That was my thing. I would just go basically wandering in the woods. Now you know why some of those songs always mention trees and being under trees and stuff like that. Now you know why. But so in one of my wanderings through the woods, I found a little, what I thought of as a pond. And at the edge of the pond, there was a turtle, and he was just sitting there. And my first thought was, I'm going to have a pet turtle. I'm going to go into the swamp, catch the turtle. Yay, I have a pet. That was the idea anyway in my head. So I'm edging closer to the pond. I'm trying to reach in to grab him, and I stepped on a hornet's nest that was probably maybe like that far away from the edge of the water. And of course, I stepped right on it. And suddenly, it was like this sound, like, and the entire swarm came up, and all I saw was this giant swarm of bees, and they all went straight for my face. So I was getting stung in the face, in the head, in the shoulders, the arms. I didn't know what to do. I was flailing around like a maniac, So I jumped into the little pond, and I realized that it wasn't really that deep and it was filled with mud. So I was basically covered in mud. So what I discovered was they stopped stinging me once I was covered in mud. So I just put mud all over me. And so I basically had mud all over me from head to toe, just thick, thick mud. Oh, man. So the only reason that I didn't get in trouble when I showed up at the campsite where my parents were, and my grandparents, by the way, come to think of it, I think my uncles were there too. But anyway, the idea was that when I came out of the woods, they basically said I looked like a crazy person because they could see that I'd been stung everywhere and they could see the welts, but they also saw that I was covered in mud. So they basically, everyone went crazy. And that was the end of the entire outing. I killed the entire family outing with that stunt. But I was covered in bees. And, but for some reason, I never wound up having to go to a hospital, and I didn't, like, nothing ever happened. Like, I had the welts, and by evening I was fine. And then from then on, I really just, I know it's going to sound weird, I just wasn't scared of them anymore. So it's a really weird thing. I'm not really scared of bees because of that. And I should be, but I'm not. So anyway. So yeah, and that happened before the other story. So I can attest to somehow the mud. Yeah, cover yourself in mud if you can. If you get, chased by bees, jump in the water and cover yourself in mud. Because believe me, they will wait for you when you come out of the water. They'll still be there waiting for you. Oh my God. Yeah. And I think I want to say I was 9, maybe 10. I was not very old when that happened to me, but yeah, always watch your step. Look out for the bees. If I had been watching and not keeping my eye on the turtle, I probably would have seen the little mound and not stepped on it. But they were like, "You messed up our house. We're going to mess you up." Anyway, so that's funny, but that's how it happened. So, anyway, so that's how we figured out that we were going to tell that story tonight. It's funny. Thank you, Mai, for that. You get the prize on the bee stuff. Anyway, it's that time. Because I'm not feeling that good. I have to kind of get some rest. I can't believe I still did the stream, but I do feel better, a lot better. So I should be fine tomorrow. But another night of good sleep isn't going to hurt me at all. So I am going to end with another one from 19. And this is one of because people ask me this all the time, right? What's your favorite song? And that's a very difficult question because every album or every single, every B-side, every something has some connection to something. So obviously it's hard to pick favorites. But this particular song always comes to mind because I wrote this, it was winter, and it was one of those perfect days where I just had the song done, like within 10 minutes, and then I recorded it. And so this version is literally the version that I recorded right after I wrote it. So, for whatever reason, this is how it turned out. But this is one of my favorites for some reason. So I have done this live a couple times. So I have a version that I do live, but this is the original. And we're going to end with this one. And I will see you next week. Hopefully not as congested. And maybe we'll do some singing and stuff. We shall see. But enjoy yourselves. Be good to one another. After this, it just goes away. Until next week. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. Um, Bee stings and all. But anyway, I'm going to turn on the overhead. I think we'll go for this overhead. And the pain I inherited.
Look into myself and I see the ravaged soul that I've become. The burning inside will tear me apart. Is it all because of you? And do you try when all those things come into light? Do you feel responsible for me? The illness that I carry, I can't explain away with a theory or words. The movements in my heart, fluctuations in my mind, that is all I know. And when I hear you crying in the darkest hour, do you feel responsible for me? Yes, it's true. The pain that I've inherited from you. Yes, it's true. The pain that I've inherited from you. The pain that I've inherited from you. The pain that I've I blame you for everything. I guess that is not fair. I blame you for loving me, but I still don't seem to care. I blame you for leaving me when you could not bear. I blame you for hating me, something I don't dare. Yes, it's true. The pain that I've inherited from you. Yes, it's true. The pain that I've inherited from you. Oh, the pain that I've inherited from you. Oh, the pain that I've inherited from you.
I'm part of it. Can't you see it?